Hey guys, welcome to Red 50. Thank you for tuning into another video. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. So, I've actually got some bad news for all Mustang enthusiasts around the globe. So, Ford Mustang production is actually stopping. Mustang, the pony car that has been known to be continuously in production since its inception, is finally coming to a stop. Well, let me just clarify. I don't really mean a complete production stop like what we saw with Camaros from 2002 to 2010, with the F-bodies kind of disappearing and there was no car for like 8 years. In 2010, they kind of came back with the Bumblebee and all that stuff. The production for the Ford Mustang is supposed to stop from May 3rd to May 7th, so even though it's only 5 days or 4 days, it really adds up. I will leave the links in the description if you guys want to read them through and just get all the details of what the officials have to say on that. Now, the production of the Ford Mustang is stopping, not for in its entirety, like I said, kind of like what we saw with Camaro. It's going to be for a couple weeks, at least that's what the officials are saying. But unfortunately, it could last for a little bit longer than that. So we just don't know yet. They're anticipating a couple weeks downtime in the production, but we don't know if it's going to be for entire summer or whenever. We just don't know how long it could be potentially. So in this video, we're going to be looking at why the production is stopping for the Ford Mustang, again, the pony car that has been continuously in production since its inception, what that may mean for the customer, and are the prices going to be increasing because of that? Let's dive into the video. All right, so the Mustang shortage is actually related to the semiconductor chips that are in the car. Now, this is not just a Ford issue before you guys kind of go bash Ford for that. This has been a global supply issue since this pandemic. Now, the issue with that is that, as we know, that cars are heavily computerized. You've got a computer for your transmission, computer for your engine control unit, computer for the infotainment. There's tons of computers, which requires a lot of chips. So basically, pretty much all the cars on the market right now or on the road have so many computers within the car itself that they're controlling various parts of the car. Like I said, engine, transmission, speakers, all that stuff. And this is not like one big computer that kind of takes everything. There's just various units that are in the car itself. They're kind of helping all of this out. Now, obviously, as we know, with the computers, you need a lot of chips, and the semiconductor chips are one of those. With the global supply issue, you're experiencing a lot of shortage right now, which is kind of what it is causing the Ford Mustang shortage. Now, like I said, this is not only for the Ford. This has been pretty much throughout the industry. The automakers are experiencing this heavily. There's some industry analysts that are saying that this could result in $61 billion lost in revenue due to the shortage of the chip supply. Because like I said, if Ford Mustang is stopping production for 2 weeks, there's a lot of other cars, other manufacturers that are having to go through the same issue. So if you're stopping a production for your car for 2 weeks, I don't know how many Mustangs Ford really pumps out in a day, but you can kind of do the math, and when you kind of spread it across the brand's entire lineup, it starts to add up. Chevy Camaros have also faced a similar treatment. For them, it's actually pretty bad because with the Mustang, the production has stopped only for a couple weeks. With the Chevy Camaro, they've pretty much nixed out the entire model year for the 2021. So normally with the brand new cars and Mustangs and Camaros, they would be produced for the same model year up until like the end of summer or sometime in fall. Chevy has said they're going to stop producing new Camaros from now on. So pretty much for 3-4 months, there's no Camaros. I wonder if that's going to cause the price to go up for these 2021s. So with all these shortages, obviously manufacturers want to make sure they can maximize their profits and not suffer kind of like what airline industries had to go through during the times we're all in currently. So since manufacturers have only a limited amount of supply and the new supplies aren't being really made, they kind of have to make their choice where the supplies really go. So if Ford knows some of their vehicles don't sell well compared to the other ones, they're going to want to make sure if they have these supplies of these, or if they have these chips, they want to put into the cars that are actually going to be money makers and not going to sit on the lot and just be a waste of chip usage. Similarly, as we all know, Ford F-150 is one of the best-selling trucks and probably the most, is definitely the most profitable vehicle or the truck that Ford has got. So what Ford has decided to do is actually still sell their F-150s, but what they've done is remove the fuel active management module. This helps them save some of these semiconductor chips and still sell the F-150. Like I said, it's the most profitable truck and the most popular truck probably the most popular vehicle Ford has aside from Mustang. So instead of putting in some other vehicle that are probably going to sit on the lot, then F-150 are just going to fly from the dealership lots. So they've decided to conserve those semiconductor chips and remove the fuel active management system and still sell those vehicles to be able to make profits. Now what Mercedes is doing, and I really hope Ford doesn't do that, especially with Mustangs, they have C-Class. So if you don't know Mercedes lineup, it's got C-Class at the bottom, E at the middle, and S-Class, not including A-Class and all those cars, right? So C-Class normally is just to get people into the Mercedes brand. It doesn't have that big of a profit margin compared to S-Class. So what they've done with the C-Class, the new ones that they're making, currently being built in factories before they go to dealers, they're actually not making the base ones or the ones with just a package or two. They're trying to make them as fully loaded as they possibly can, because the person who really wants the C-Class, who has been dreaming for a brand new one, they're probably going to end up paying for it, because if they can't find a base one, they have to pay, which means, as we all know, with more packages and more options that you check on that, more profit for the dealer. There's a lot of margin for those kind of things. So that's what Mercedes is doing. I would hate to see that Ford Mustang is going to follow the same suit. As we all know, Mustang is supposed to be an affordable performance car. So if you jack up all the prices for the packages, or you're only selling the fully loaded ones, it kind of defeats the purpose of the Mustang. So I would hate to see not being able to get a base Mustang, or a Mustang with just a black accent package or anything like that. If all the dealers are having to, or if all the factories are building Mustang that are like Performance Pack 1 with the 401A packages and all that stuff, it kind of puts it out of reach. But again, like we said, Chevy doesn't have Camaro, so if someone really wants a brand new muscle car, Challenger Mustang it is. But I would hate to see that, all the Mustang that you're going to see on the lot, instead of those base ones for the GT with like low 30s, mid 30s, you're starting to see all these Mustangs with like $45,000, $50,000. It kind of puts it out of the range for an average buyer, so that wouldn't really work out. See what Ford is going to do if the production of the Mustang kind of takes more than 4 days, where it's going to be stopped maybe for a couple of weeks or a month. Are they going to just wait on the chips to come back? Because like we said, it's a global shortage, so nothing Ford can really do to speed up the process. So are they just going to start cranking out the Mustang that are like highly optioned out from the factory? Or are they going to do kind of similar treatment to what F-150 is doing right now, where they're removing some of the features? I'm pretty sure stuff that they can add back as the supply becomes available. So maybe they might just leave out a couple of chips, and you kind of have a letter from Ford saying like, once the supply is available, bring it to your dealer, we'll install it, and you'll be good to go. I'm kind of curious to see. I hope Ford makes a smart move on that. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this shortage. Do you think it's going to go over anytime soon, or are we pretty much kind of stuck in that, and auto industry could potentially collapse? As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to Red 50 for more videos.